Welcome back. Episode 83, the Willie Snead episode. I just checked where we're
Ooh.
going live. The Daniel Wilcox episode. Let me throw it back even further.
Ooh.
The 04 to 08 days. Yeah. Of the Purple Rain podcast. A Victory Monday. You really can't ask
Yes.
more. Victory Monday. Big dubs. Big dubs. But first, you can follow us on Instagram at the Purple Rain podcast. You can follow this guy who was actually at the game. We'll get into your little experience yesterday. Follow him Instagram, Twitter at Sutton Def. You can follow me
Yes.
Instagram, simply as10.prod. And hold the fuck up. Twitter, simply as10 again. Got it back today. Bro, brought a bright smile on my face. We're back. But yeah, simply as10, that's the Twitter.
Yes. The official Simply AS10 Twitter handle is back, so make sure you follow him on Twitter. And like he said, welcome, huge welcome to episode 83 of the Purple Rain podcast, the Willie Snead episode. And listen, Willie Snead, of course, he's not on our roster anymore, but he did a lot of good things for us, so we got to pay homage in some way. You know, he was reliable, Mr. Reliable. Shout out to him on the Panthers practice squad. But hey, like you said, man, it's Victory Monday. Alex, how you doing?
My heart can't keep taking these. I went through all the emotions yesterday, but that's every game this year. Like the only game where I've sat back, I think I enjoyed the Broncos and the Chargers. Every other game's just been so stressful for what? I didn't miss this stress. But how were you? You were at the game. Were you stressed there? I mean, went down big early. Justin Jefferson gritting in the end zone. He had his way the first drive. How was it? How was the mood there throughout the game?
Man, I mean, the mood was great. I mean, honestly, throughout the game, even when we were losing, like morale was never like low or anything like that. And that's what I loved about the fans and just the energy in the stadium. Like we always felt like we were in it. And I feel like that has a lot to do with I feel like it has a lot to do with Lamar Jackson. I'm not gonna lie. Like when you have a guy like Lamar on your team, exactly, you're never out of the game. And that's how like everybody in the stadium felt. Like I was going, I think when that touchdown happened with Justin Jefferson, I was out like getting like a beer or something like that. And and like I just saw it on like the TVs, like, in the little walkways of the stadium.
Yeah.
And like I'm just like, oh, okay. So we're down like what? 2 scores now, 2 possessions, like cool, whatever. I think we can come back from this. We can recover from this. And like just like I said, we did. Like eventually we did, and that defense really stepped up in the second half, and it really kind of rendered the Vikings offense useless in the second half in a lot of ways.
Yeah. I thought Dalvin Cook was having his way with us. I thought they should have kept running the ball. The defense stepped up, but it's funny you bring up how like the mood never changed because at the Monday night game against the Colts, down 19 points, the crowd was still getting loud. The crowd was never out of it. And I saw there was a report from what was his name? I think Mike Preston from the Sun, how how like the stadium was like empty. Every game I've watched, it's always loud there. So there's no empty stadium. Was it packed yesterday for a 1:00 game?
Yeah, it was definitely packed.
Yeah.
A lot of people there. Like I said, man, energy was super duper high. But before we get into anything else, we do have some super chat donations kicking us off here on episode 83 of the Purple Rain podcast. Make sure you guys go ahead and like the video before we get into anything else. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new. We got our guy, the Joker, coming in with the first donation of the night of the episode. Thank you so much, the Joker. We appreciate you so much. Says, how about my man Bateman? Just keep getting better. Yeah, how about Bateman, man? How about Bateman? I'm loving what I'm seeing from him, man. It was
every
like
catch is a first down.
Yeah, every catch. Like he's now I think fourth on the team in first down receptions behind Mark Andrews, Hollywood, and just one first down reception behind Sammy Watkins. He's playing really well right now, and I can't wait until like this. I tweeted this earlier. I feel like once the run game gets back to where it should be, with like our actual running backs getting most of the production, the touchdowns, the yards, things like that, and not Lamar Jackson carrying the ball 21 times. Once we get back to that form factor, the wide receiving duo between Hollywood Brown and Rashad Bateman is going to go crazy because teams are going to start stacking the box, loading the box again, just like they have to when we're at our full strength running the football. And we're going to be able to throw all over them with those guys because those guys are what we always call zone busters. And that's what Rashad Bateman once again showed us what he was yesterday. And it was actually that play, the first catch he had, I want to say, no, it was the second catch.
Second catch.
Yeah, for that first down. Like I was actually watching that live and I saw that. I was like, wow, you talk about like a contested catch. What did we talk about when we were looking at, draft prospects and receivers? guys who can make contested catches, 50
Go
50
up there and get
balls.
that thing.
Go up there and get it. And Rashad Bateman, in his third, fourth game, he's already going out there and proving that he can do that on a consistent basis. And that's why I really love Rashad Bateman, man. So, yeah, the Joker, you bring up a good point there.
I think Rashad Bateman's best play yesterday wasn't even a catch. It was the draw on the pass interference that we just never get. We
Ooh,
never
yeah.
get pass interference calls. And it was at the end of this first half. We're down. It's like we need 7 here. Like it just points would have helped us. But the fact that PA call, literally like Joe Flacco just throwing it up, hoping for something. He drew that PI call.
Yeah.
And from there, I mean, we went on and scored with Devonta Freeman. Lamar just threw a nice little, I think it was a swing route, I believe.
Right.
And yeah, I mean, it's nice to know that we have receivers. I think if we didn't have Rashad Bateman, I would definitely be on the Odell Beckham Jr. train to Baltimore.
Same.
But I mean, it's just a luxury at this point. That's why we aren't talking about it because it really doesn't deal with us. We don't really need him. It'd be nice to have. We don't need him.
Yeah, speaking of that pass interference call, I was kind of hoping, or I was hoping that Lamar would have led Bateman a little bit more on that pass.
Yeah.
Into the end zone, because I feel like he could have probably got that. If it was a couple yards further, like towards the end zone, like he might have been able to reach out and get that, and just it would have been an amazing play. I am waiting so patiently for Rashad Bateman to get his first NFL touchdown. I really want to see that, man, because
it could come on Thursday. I wouldn't be surprised Thursday. I mean, if Sammy Watkins is back, I don't see how you can stop all 3 of these receivers. I mean, I'm going to lead into another point.
Okay.
Hollywood Brown. Marquise Hollywood Brown. I don't know how many times I say it. Wide receiver 1. Bateman's like wide receiver 1B. These guys are both like, they just outdo each other and they work together as a team. I love it. I honestly love it. I mean, I wasn't expecting this jump for him to have, but he's going to hit 1,000 yards this year. Stamp it, book it. If he stays healthy, 1K yards. Bateman, we were talking, remember we're like 750 yards might be a stretch for him. That can definitely happen now.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, with the way our running game is, I think, if Dobbins and Edwards were healthy, I don't think they would have as many receiving yards, but hey, it's working. Yeah. I don't know, but it's just really weird to be a Ravens fan right now, and we have quality wide receivers.
We do. We also have another super chat donation coming in from DLC. Thank you so much, DLC, for making it rain. Making it rain here on episode 83 of the Purple Rain podcast. Big shout out to you, bro. We appreciate you. Says, what's up, gang? Had to start it off right. Of course, man. We appreciate you. Thank you. We do have another super chat donation. This one's coming in from the Joker again. Making it rain yet again on the Purple Rain podcast. Thank you so much. Says, can we say DaCosta drafting wide receivers already better than Ozzie?
I mean, Hollywood and Bateman, not a bad 2 first-round picks.
Yeah.
I mean, Duvernay's looking good. We know what Prochet can do for where they were selected. The only miss, I guess, is Boykin. And what was it, Lasley?
Yeah, Jordan.
No, that was a 2018 draft. That was Ozzie's last draft, Lasley and Scott.
Right.
I mean, definitely receiver-wise, I think. But everything else kind of got a halt one. But receiver, I'd say, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think the Joker, he definitely brings up a good point here. I mean, you look at guys like Rashad Bateman and Hollywood Brown, they've offered us more than pretty much any of the guys that we've gotten in the past, 4 or 5 years before that.
We'll go back. Mark Clayton. I mean,
yeah.
We keep on going. I mean, the receivers we drafted.
I looked at Hollywood Brown yesterday, live, in action, and I saw a guy who he's definitely our wide receiver 1. I know the question, throughout the whole offseason, like we were saying before, was, can he be a wide receiver 1, yada, yada, yada. But this guy has proven week in and week out that he is there. He is reliable. It's no mistake that Lamar Jackson, he throws the most footballs to Marquise Brown on the team. He's just that guy. He catches the ball, and what I love to say, effort after the catch. He has that. Effort after the catch. Yeah. Those screens. I love those.
We were talking his biggest weakness was, not taking that contact.
Right.
On those screen plays, you're going to take contact once or twice, and he was using that stiff arm, using that speed.
That stiff arm is scrappy.
It is.
It's like, bro, that initial, he'll catch the ball, turn around, and that initial stiff arm will give him, an extra 5, 6, 7 yards just because of his speed. He can, almost turned the corner on anybody, on any DB, which is so scary for secondaries. And this, one of the reasons why I say Hollywood Brown, he is who we thought he was. He is a number one wide receiver, man. He really is. Like, we have to sit up here and say that after the performances he's been putting up. We just have to. But yeah, thank you so much, the Joker, for your super chat donation there. We appreciate you. Let's go ahead and we're going to get into some burning questions here in just a little bit. I see we do have our guys in here from Lunch Break Hot Take. Big shout out to you guys for coming through. Yeah, what's up, guys? Thank you guys.
I know they did their UFC. They were talking about the UFC. I think we have to talk about that as well. Did you watch UFC this Saturday?
I definitly did. I definitely did watch the UFC.
I missed the main event. I went to sleep. Don't hurt me. All right, don't hurt me.
It's all good. You want to know why? Because I did too. I fell asleep too, but I did get to watch the recap. So, but I did see all the other fights. So if you guys want to ask me anything about UFC, anything at all, really, I would love for you to ask me about that. But we'll get into that. In burning questions, you guys can ask me about that too. But yeah, I want to get into some team stats about yesterday's game, just like what were the numbers really looking like, right? So
yeah,
let's just look at our guy Lamar Jackson. Let's look at his performance, right? Let's see. So wow, I got an ad block on my computer. That's crazy. Shout out to Google Chrome. Anyway, so Lamar Jackson, he threw for 266 yards. That's 27 for 41 passing, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, one of which was a really bad interception. I'm not gonna lie. The other one, probably wasn't the best decision. It got tipped, and it was just a great play by the defender.
We shouldn't have been. We shouldn't have been throwing in overtime there. I don't know why we did that. That was just stupid.
It's just lack of trust in our running backs. No.
Yeah. It is. It showed.
Yeah. Honestly, and then you look at rushing yards. Lamar Jackson carried the ball for 21 times for 120 yards. So once again, Lamar Jackson dominated running the football, but 21 times on the ground is exactly what we wanted to avoid, right? As Ravens fans, just watching Lamar Jackson carry the ball over and over and over again. And it's because of the lack of rushing attack that we have on this team, and that's something that's really hurting us this year. But what were your thoughts on Lamar running so much?
I didn't like it. And I'm going to just get into a different point to bring me right back to here. Stephen A. Smith said Kirk Cousins outplayed Lamar Jackson. Do you see that? You heard about that?
I didn't hear about that, no, but that's crazy.
Yeah. Lamar Jackson had more passing yards than Kirk Cousins and more rushing yards than Dalvin Cook. All right? Without Lamar Jackson, I don't know where this team would be. I really don't, and I'm not trying to be funny. Like, I know we're Ravens fans, but take the heart out of it. I don't know where we would be. I'm saying 1 to 2 wins at most, honestly. With just what he's done for us. I mean, come on, 120 rushing yards. Along for throwing 41 times. It's crazy. It's so
he does it all.
I don't like how much he is running whatsoever. I do like what I saw though from Devonta Freeman and Le'Veon Bell. Freeman averaging 6.1 yards a carry, 13 carries for 79 yards, and Le'Veon Bell 11 carries for 48 yards. Not sexy, but with Bell, 3rd and short, he was converting them. He was getting first downs. He was moving the chains. That's what we have to ask for. But I think we're going to be going back to just Lamar's the whole offense again, unfortunately. That's what it is. Without Dobbins and Edwards, that's he's going to be running a lot, and we just got to hope that somebody can step up or he just stays healthy. I don't know what else to say to that.
Yeah. We do have another super chat donation coming in from our guy, Jabari Cruz Ellis. Thank you so much, Jabari, for coming through, supporting the channel, just donating everything, man. We appreciate you so much. Says Lamar has 2,200 passing yards and 600 plus rushing yards in 8 games. He is in God mode right now. Let's appreciate the special season that he's showing us. Yeah, man. I mean, is it too early to say MVP? Lamar for MVP? You guys see I have it written down right here.
Let me just pull up. I mean, if we're not like most valuable player, MVP, I think of it, you take that player off their team and how good are they?
Right.
You take Lamar Jackson off this team. And there's a tweet from my guy at Flock Seawood Calvin on Twitter. And he says, after the 500-yard game today, the Ravens have 3,423 total yards in the season. Lamar Jackson is responsible for 2,809 yards. That's 82% of the team's yards. Bro, one person, 82% of the team's yards. That's MVP.
I mean,
After
it's
the
just
stinkfest Matt Stafford dropped last night, come on now.
I'm speechless. I don't know what to say. I mean, it's just like a moment of silence for that, you know? Like the numbers are there. The numbers are there.
It,
I don't know why. What else are we doing to discount Lamar Jackson? He's he's putting up historic numbers running the football, along with passing as well. And then also the comebacks. He's erasing narratives one narrative at a
you have
time, and he's completely blowing this one out of the water. Like it seems like
it's
it
not
goes
even
like
like it's not 3 points. We're talking
right,
2 possessions.
right. It's like it seems like every season he wipes away some narrative, right? So
Last year was a
2019
playoff
people
win.
say right, 2019 people say he can't throw, leads the league in touchdown passes.
Yep.
2020 they say he can't win a playoff game, wins a playoff game. 2021, there's still that narrative lingering around that he can't come back. What does he do? He already has 3 games. 3
And remember,
games where
he
he's
can't
come
throw outside
back.
the numbers. Most of
Can't
his
throw
throws
outside the
this year have literally
numbers.
been outside the numbers. Like, I haven't heard
Exactly.
that narrative. I just think it was the offseason. People were just bored. Like,
Yeah.
everything that they're saying about this man, he's proving them wrong. He's
Yeah.
coming back. I mean, the overtime, the first drive, I know that's a pick on him, but there was just a lot wrong with that. And his offensive line folded on him the final drive in the fourth quarter, him getting sacked. And
Yeah.
sometimes he has to do too much. I've noticed he does way too much because nobody else helps him up there. It feels like he feels like he has to throw the ball. He can't run because you don't know how much time you're gonna have. It's just crazy that he's doing all this with such a limited supporting cast as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Another super chat donation. This one coming in from the Joker. Thank you so much once again. Says Sutton and Alex check Purple Rain podcast Twitter. I sent a tweet. Give me thoughts. The Joker. We actually do not have an official Purple Rain podcast Twitter
Yeah.
account, so I'm not sure who you sent that to. Did you mean the Instagram by any chance, or what? Just let us know. Let us know. But yeah, make sure you follow us on Instagram at the Purple Rain Podcast, and make sure you also like this video, episode 83 of the Purple Rain Podcast. And big shout out to the Joker for making it rain here on episode 83 of the Purple Rain Podcast as well. But yeah, just back to the game, overall thoughts of it, man. It was a good win because a win is a win is a win is a win at the end of the day. But me personally, and this may just be me, Alex, but I'm tired of all us having to offer is resilience. I'm tired of the comeback wins against bad teams. I want to be able to just sit comfortably and know that we can beat up on these bad teams and do what we're supposed to do, because that tells me that we're prepared for the playoffs. We don't want to be in nail biters with teams like the Bills. We don't want to be in nail biters with teams like the Chiefs when it comes down to it, because the difference between the Chiefs and the Bills, as opposed to a
Titans.
team like the Titans, as opposed
Yeah.
to the team like the Vikings, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, they're not going to shrink when it comes to the
No.
big time plays and when it comes to the big time moments. Kirk Cousins may, but they will not. So it's
Yeah.
like we have to, you know what I mean? Like we have to beat up on these bad teams and just step up where we're supposed to. And that's my only gripe with, us winning this way. You agree or no?
No, I agree with you. It's just like the luck's gonna run out soon. It's just
Yeah.
there's gonna be. I mean, we come up in a hard stretch with Browns, Steelers, Browns, Packers, Rams. These teams are not gonna just let you do that to them. I don't care how
No.
bad the Steelers are, how bad you think they are. They're gonna play as hard as hell. And they're gonna win the game. Same with the Browns. AFC North is still wide open. I don't care if we're at the top. Like it's still open.
Yeah.
I just don't. You just can't
Best
keep
division in
doing this. Like,
football. Yeah.
and we keep starting off flat. That's my biggest problem. I'm tired. Like the defense, the offense is. I think Marlon Humphrey and Chuck Clark were still asleep on that Justin Jefferson touchdown. He had
Yeah.
nothing but space.
Nothing. Just wide open. Just wide open.
Nothing but green.
We do have another super chat donation. This one coming in from Lemon Sharaf. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Making it rain here on the Purple Rain
Jeez.
Podcast, episode 83. Thank you so much. Says, I said 30-24 in overtime. Hey, I mean, did you make that call? If you did, I mean,
We can
hey,
go
big
back.
shout out to you. We can go back. Hats off to you, though, if you did. And
What
thank you
was the
so
final
much
score?
for the
I
donation.
forgot. I just know we won by 3.
34-31.
Okay.
Yeah. So 3-point game. Cam Neal says O-line is his biggest gripe. How are you feeling about the O-line play overall?
It was shaky. It was definitely. I need Patrick McCarry back like yesterday.
Oh yeah.
I Who would have thought our center who made a terrible snap that got our quarterback hurt last year was going to be our right tackle this year and playing at such a good level, high level. And
Not
it
me.
showed.
I would not
It
have thought
showed, man.
at all.
And I just don't know how I feel about his O line play.
Yeah.
It's not good. I mean, center Bozeman's been playing very well. Villanueva didn't have a good game yesterday, fortunately. He ended up on his ass a couple of times. That wasn't good. But still a lot of work to do. A lot to work to do.
Absolutely. Definitely a lot of work to do. I see our guy, the Joker, actually says, "My bad. I tweeted at you both. Let me know my thoughts on what I tweeted." So I'll let you guys see in a second here what he sent us on Twitter. But yeah, hold that thought, the Joker. We will get to you in just a minute here. But all right, let's go ahead and get into our burning questions segment. Yeah.
Okay.
So any questions that you guys may have, like, about this football team right now, the title of this video is as follows: How good are the Ravens? Like, really, how good are they? So the questions really are surrounding that kind of umbrella question or topic, if you will, like, because we really don't know how to gauge this team right now. Like, we're getting into firefights with bad teams and coming down to the wire with them. And we're just always playing down to the level of our competition, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
We got blown out by the Bengals a couple weeks ago, so we really don't know where this team is, other than the fact that they have a 6-2 record. But it doesn't even really feel all that much
No.
like 6-2. So there should be a lot of questions surrounding this team. So, like I said, without further ado, this is the burning question segment of the show. So whatever questions you may have about the Ravens, put that down below now. But all right, let's see. We got a guy Boz in here. Says, "Yo, Rain Gang, what's going on? Steelers on Monday night. We're about to go crazy." That, I'm actually kind of excited to see the Steelers play Chicago
I
tonight.
just like their profile picture. I
Yeah.
just Ben
Oh yeah. Who?
Baker. It's Ben
Oh, yeah,
Baker.
that's what it is.
Oh
That's
man.
funny. That's funny. That's funny. Oh man. Let's see. Jonathan Washington Jr. says, "What up, Rain Gang? What's up,
Tough
Jonathan? How
job.
you doing, man?" Let's see. We got our guy Raven Ron in the building. Says, "What up, PRP? What's up, man?
Wrong.
Appreciate you for coming through. Thank you for joining the show." I want to go ahead and show you guys what the Joker had sent us. Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and
Okay.
pull that up on screen for all of you guys. Let's see if we can get this really quick, and then we'll get into the burning questions. So make sure you guys are putting your burning questions down in the chat. If you're not watching this live and you're part of the hashtag replay gang, thank you so much for joining the stream tonight. We appreciate
Thank
you. Make sure you like the video and also subscribe as well for more Ravens content coming in the very, very near future. Very, very near future. But all right. So you guys can see right up here what our guy, the Joker, has sent us on Twitter. At simply as Tim Prod, at Sutton Def. Lamar game issued color rush jersey. Thoughts? Hashtag Ravens flop. Yeah, I mean, the color rush jerseys are some of my favorites, man. They are
And we
some
don't
of my
wear them.
favorites.
We don't
Yeah,
wear
we
them.
don't. We don't. But I'm thinking we may be saving it for, one of the, I think we play Cleveland on primetime, right? This year.
Yeah, we do
So
Sunday night.
yeah, I'm thinking maybe that game, like, that game, I'm sure will have huge playoff intentions. Because what week is that?
Oh, I think week 12.
Week
I
12. So
think week
that
12.
is that the first time or the second time we play them? Can't remember. I think it's the second, right?
We play them. Oh yeah, so maybe 14. I'm not too sure what the weeks are, but I know it's in Cleveland. Oh, is it? I'm not even too sure. I don't have the schedule memorized, but the home game, yeah. So the home game Sunday night. So
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, maybe we pull it out there. So I definitely want to see the color rush jerseys back in action because those are beautiful. I just I
yeah,
always remember watching that Monday Night Football game against the Rams a couple years ago, where we just
yeah.
completely walked all over them in those jerseys. So I cannot wait to see those again.
I mean, we
Um,
walked over teams we walked over the Browns in 17. I remember
yeah,
Darren Waller was doing the mannequin challenge.
yeah,
Then we walked over the Dolphins again. No, it was Browns 16. Then the Dolphins, remember, it was like 40-0. TJ Mosley had like a pick six. The cat was in the field. Joe Flacco got knocked out. Good times. Great times.
yeah.
Lovely times.
All right, so let's go ahead. First, before we get into any of these questions, we do have a super chat donation coming in from our guy Gerald from the
Gerald.
bleachers, as Devon Johnson says. From the logo, we appreciate you so much, man. for donating to episode 83 of the Purple Rain podcast. Making it rain here and clearing it out, man. We appreciate you. Says the Ravens are a good team, but we as fans need to admit that our defense is not the defense of old. But hopefully at crucial moments, the defense will stop the opposition. Yeah, I mean, this is a good point,
perfect.
Gerald. Yeah, it really is, because it seems like the defense, it has to wake up at sometimes, and like
Yeah,
it really was on display. Like I saw it, I went back and watched the highlights from yesterday's game, and I was seeing like the defense really started to heat up like later in the game. Guys
yeah,
like veterans on the team, guys like Calais Campbell, for example, like they get to a point when like the game is on the line, they step up and make plays. Like Calais Campbell's, he has his like his style of play, or like his mode where he's like he's had enough. He's gonna make a grown
yeah.
man play, a football play, something that impacts the game. And that's just something that we wish we could see more consistently. But do you think it more so has something to do with like the how many veterans we do have on our defense, or what do you think about that?
I can go with coaching. I think it starts with
Coaching.
coaching, 100%.
Mm,
But before like just the defense, there's a problem when our best player on defense was on the streets before the season started, and that's Josh Bynes. He
yeah,
was the best player on the defense yesterday, I think, by far. It was
yeah,
crazy how good he was playing, and he's elevated Patrick Queen's level too. Queen made that great stop in the backfield. That was huge. But I just don't know what we're doing. Just like, why wasn't Jimmy Smith on the field more? He played one snap yesterday. Pernell McPhee
yeah,
was barely on the field. And
barely,
then we were literally getting no type of pressure whatsoever. I don't know.
yeah,
I just don't know what's really going on. And is it all the players we have, or is it the coaching? Um,
mm,
it's hard to say, but this defense did step up when we needed them to. Wink literally sent a cover zero, and on like third down, and it worked. It worked. So I guess I probably should shut up. But at the same time, the defense can't start flat either. They really can't, because the way the offense has been starting, going down 7-0, 14-0, it's not a good look. And against the
yeah,
wrong team, say it happens against the Browns in Cleveland, I can't see us coming back. Happens against the Packers, it's hard to come back. Happens against the Rams, it's hard to come back. Steelers too. So we are testing our
mm.
luck, but I don't know how I feel about Wink as a whole. I mean, I know he had a good defense in past, but this year I just don't know what the defense is. We don't have an identity whatsoever.
Right. Yeah, I mean, and Lisa says here, to your point, guys, didn't the defense look asleep yesterday? Yeah, I mean, at times they do kind of look very, very flat, very, very flat, which is very, very concerning. Because I mean, we're already halfway through the season, so I don't know if we're just. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if we're saving what we have in the gas tank for later or what. But this defense needs to wake up sooner than later if they want any chance at contending in the playoffs against some of these more high flying offenses. Because we're gonna need
Yeah.
to be able to shut down some of these high flying teams for sure.
And I want to go back to
Those
Gerald's point. He said this
Sure.
isn't the defense of old. And K Dog brought up a great point. He was talking about, remember, like, we had that record of like teams not rushing for 100 yards on us. Remember that,
Right.
like with Ray Lewis and Suggs, Jared Johnson, all them. Teams
Yep.
just rush for 100 yards for us in the first half. It's just
Casually.
easy for them.
Yep.
And I get that the NFL is changing, but for me, I think the defense still wins championships. I know the offenses are good, but you got to stop the running. Like this, Dalvin Cook ran for 100 yards and it didn't feel like 100 yards. It was 110 yards. He ran for it on
Yeah.
us.
Yeah, it didn't really feel like 110 because he did rip off that big run like in the
Yeah.
first quarter.
And then
But
lost 9 yards on a run too, which is even crazier.
yeah, plays like that, just can't happen, man. We got to be more consistent, stopping the run. I thought we did a pretty good job at controlling time of possession in
Yep.
that game, and we
100%.
had the ball for 23 more minutes than they did, which was insane. I think that was our biggest margin this season.
Yeah.
So that was good. I did like that. But like I said, like you said again, and like everybody else here is saying, defense definitely does need to be more consistent. I see some of you guys in the chat bringing up Deshaun Elliott, who unfortunately went down yesterday with a season-ending. What was it? What kind of injury was it again?
Pectoral.
The pectoral. Yeah,
Pectoral.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Those. Yeah, man. So thoughts and prayers go out to Deshaun Elliott, his family. Just speedy hope. praying for a speedy recovery for him, man, and just good spirits, because we know this is a guy who has had multiple season-ending injuries up to this point in his career. So something like this happening yet again, it can never
in
be
a
easy.
contract year.
In a contract year, man. Yeah.
I hate to say it, but that could have been the last we've seen him in Baltimore. I really do.
I mean, with that being said, do you think we go safety in the draft next season?
I don't know. I mean, Trey Boston's a free agent. I know they're saying how I don't want to sound like a negative fan, but Harbaugh's talking about Levine at safety. Bro, Levine should not be on defense. No. Special teams, yes. Defense, no. No. I'd rather see Geno Stone, Brandon Stevens, Ardarius Washington. I'm like a huge Ardarius Washington fan. Please let him play. Jimmy Smith at corner. I mean, at safety. But I don't need to see Levine out there at safety. We saw what happened when he was on defense, like against the Browns last year on Monday night. It was not good.
Embarrassing. But yeah, let's see. I got K-Dog says, welcome and thanks to all 80 people watching the PRP live right now. We do have about 84 people watching live. Thank you guys so much for coming out tonight. Make sure you guys go ahead and like this video, and subscribe to the channel if you are new and you're enjoying the content. Yep. Also, make sure to follow us on Instagram at the Purple Rain Podcast. And like our mod boss here says, like the video. Once again,
do it.
Like the video. It helps us out a ton, man. Appreciate it. But yeah, some more burning questions we'll go ahead and touch on here before we move on. Let's see. Kimberly doubling down here on Deshaun Elliott says, I'm going to miss Deshaun Elliott when he's out for the season. Hope the Ravens found someone to replace him. What were you going to say?
I was going to bring up Xavier Howard, the reports that came out.
Yeah, the what could have been, right?
First it was DeAndre Hopkins, now it's Xavier Howard.
I don't like this news. Like, why do we have to hear about this stuff? It's like, if it didn't happen, don't even speak on it.
I think it's because of you put the Ravens next to it, and it clicks. My thing is, I think if we were to get him, I think Marcus Peters, we probably would have seen the last of him here.
Which I don't know, man. I don't want to think about that either, man, because just like, I can only imagine how many more plays this defense will be making, how many more turnovers we might be able to be forcing right now, jumping routes, if we had a Marcus Peters on the field. That's just part of what made like our secondary so dangerous. Like just the duality of having Marcus Peters, just the risk taking, route jumping cornerback, and then on the other end having the physical, in your face Marlon Humphrey type cornerback. It was second to none. And when we had both of those guys healthy and on the field, our secondary was it was clicking. Things were clicking, but it seems like we really can't get that as much now without him. So, I hope we don't get rid of I hope we don't get rid of him.
We don't either.
We have another burning question coming in from our guy Gerald once again pulling up from deep, man. Pulling up from downtown once again. Thank you so much for donating to episode 83 of the Purple Rain Podcast. Gerald, we appreciate you. Says, do we have 2 number 1 receivers? I think this is a good question because
this is a great question.
Once Bateman starts, once you start getting the touchdowns with these performances, we're going to have to start having that conversation, right? I mean, the only reason why we're not talking about Rashad Bateman contending for the number 1 receiver spot is because he does not have the touchdowns yet. But when he does get the football, he makes things happen, like first downs. And he said it in an interview like, 30, 40 minutes ago before we went live here. He said, hey, you got to get first downs to get touchdowns. And he is damn good at getting first downs. So, Gerald, he says, do we have 2 number 1 receivers? What are your thoughts on that, Alex?
I think we do. But I think we have in the future we do. But right now we have a 1 and like a 1B. My thing is to just go away from this question real quick.
Yeah.
You know how Mark Andrews wasn't really in the game yesterday? He kind of blanketed. But look who was open. We are a pick your poison offense with these weapons.
Yep.
You want to shut down Mark Andrews? Cool. Marquise Hollywood Brown. Oh, you want to put Hollywood and Andrews, maybe double them up? Cool. Rashad Bateman. Oh, Devin Duvernay, back of the end zone, toe trap.
Let's talk about that. Jeez.
I mean, come on. Having 2 number 1s would just help this offense even more. And we've already seen it. This is probably going to be the best receiving offense in franchise history. And guess who's not even back? Sammy Watkins. I think if we get Sammy back on Thursday, listen, I know that we've been close, but Thursday needs to be a statement blowout game. I'm talking 59-10. I'm talking we can sit back, relax, and just chill. That's
Yeah.
what it needs to be. But for his, I'm gonna say, yeah, we do have 2 number ones right now.
Okay. I like that. I like that. I mean, because I definitely feel like that too, man. I mean, you got to look at the targets that he's getting. Lamar Jackson is looking for Rashad Bateman, and he is finding
Yep.
him too. So I mean, more so than he ever found Miles Boykin. Am I wrong? You know what I mean? It seems like the chemistry between Lamar and Bateman is already 10 times better than the chemistry with Lamar and Miles Boykin. And Miles Boykin hasn't even really seen the field on offense like that this
Special
season.
teams,
So
offense,
special teams, yeah, but not on offense. So hey, man, I don't know. We definitely could be seeing
and
2
Tylan
number 1 wide
Wallace.
receivers
It's just like stacked back there.
just stacked back there, man. Just waiting in the wings, man. Hopefully we can get him involved at some point, man. You know how much I love Tylan Wallace coming out of the draft, but I understand why he is kind of riding the bench right now. Kind of a deep receiving room in Baltimore at the moment. But anyway, let's see. I think we'll take one more of you guys' questions. Let's see. Lisa says, where do we need the most help in the draft right now, as it
Offensive line,
stands right now?
defensive line,
O
O line,
line,
D
D
line.
line, trenches. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
I
we
can't
talked
see that
about
changing.
this. Yeah, I think we talked about this in last episode or maybe episode before last. But yeah, man, the trenches, offensive line. You got to look. Tyree Phillips on the right tackle side. It's not going to work. Patrick McCarr. We don't even know how long that's going to work. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Alejandro Villanueva. We're sure he's not going to be in Baltimore forever. So we definitely need some sort of insurance on that offensive line. And the defensive line too, because Brandon Williams is probably going to be his last season in Baltimore.
wasn't
He
even
didn't even
playing
play.
yesterday.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly. Didn't even play yesterday. So we're going to need more run stuffers and more guys who can stop Lamar Jackson or who can
and
stop
pass
Lamar Jackson from
rushers
being sacked.
get
Exactly.
some
Yeah,
sacks.
that too. That too.
Yeah.
So those would be the top positions of need. And then honorable mention behind those, I would say maybe safety. Yeah.
Yep, I agree with that. And you can
Yeah.
never hurt to have an extra corner.
Right. Exactly. So, all right. So we'll go ahead and move on from the Ravens beating the Minnesota Vikings in our burning questions segment. And we'll go ahead and transition to a little bit of around the league,
Okay.
talking a little bit about, some other games that happened yesterday on Sunday. One of them that I wanted to bring up, the Browns just trouncing the Bengals, man. Like, what do we think about the Browns going out there and giving that sort of performance? It was just a classic AFC North matchup. I thought the Bengals were going to win for all intents and purposes, but your guy Baker Mayfield went out there. He threw for 218, 2 touchdowns, no picks, had 132 quarterback rating. So I mean, are the Browns back? Or I mean, are they real contenders in the AFC North?
I, I mean, I think Baker obviously plays better when Odell is not on the field. We've been saying this, and it shows. I mean, bro,
Yeah.
Donovan Peoples-Jones is like he's an issue. I don't know why
Mm,
people haven't noticed that. Like he is a great receiver.
yeah.
He's gonna get a touchdown against the Ravens in one of the 2 games. I can stamp that.
Yeah.
I already got him in fantasy in one of my leagues. But there's like the cycle of Baker. It's like Baker's doubted. Media criticizes Baker. Baker beats underdog mentality. Baker beats inferior opponent. And like it just starts all over again. And here we
Yep.
are, beat an inferior opponent. The Bengals beat us. They lost to the Jets. Lost to the Browns. Now it's like, are they for real? And then the Bengals. I mean, the Browns will probably win another game. Be a team that they're better than, obviously. And then the hype's gonna start again. Like, are the Browns for real? And they're gonna drop 2 games or something. We've been through this before. We've been through
Yeah.
it. They're hard. I mean, they're gonna play us hard, but other teams, I mean, I really can't take them.
Right.
I don't trust the Browns. So they have great running backs, but you put the ball in Baker's hands, we see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, and speaking of their running backs, man, Nick Chubb just proven to be
Yep.
like one of the top running backs in the league, averaging almost 10 yards a carry yesterday for about 137 and how many touchdowns? 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
He had a run for 70 yards as well, man. Nick Chubb he's probably the most dangerous running back in the AFC right now. I think that's safe to
Yeah.
say with Derrick Henry out for the season. I would say
Yep.
Nick Chubb
Very
he's up
interesting.
there, you know.
Yep. I agree with you.
But yeah, we're gonna have to play him in a couple weeks, so hopefully we're ready for that, and our run defense is
2
ready
times in 3
to.
weeks.
Yeah, yeah,
We need Derek
and
Wolf
in
back.
between those weeks, we play the Steelers.
And Najee Harris
So
was good this year.
yep. So we're gonna have to put on our run stopping shoes here soon. If we want to get some wins, but a couple other games going around the league. the Cowboys actually got blown out by the Broncos, and a
See,
very surprising
we
one.
both
Yeah,
we both were like, dude, the Cowboys, like, are they there for real? And then they
right.
just go and they do this. Vic
They
Fangio,
do that. Yeah.
Teddy Bridgewater put 30. You were up 30. You were down 30 to nothing to the Broncos
Mm.
in your own home. Come on now, Tim
Yeah,
Patrick
man.
just right past Trayvon Diggs. Oh boy, oh boy.
Yeah, Tim Patrick, 85 yards, 4 catches, and a touchdown. Javonte Williams had a good game.
Yeah,
17 carries for 111 yards.
yeah.
Zeke had 10 carries for 51 yards. Can can we talk about Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard? Because I really think that Tony Pollard is better than Zeke, man.
I see more out
I
of
might,
Pollard. I see so much
yeah, I
more in
might
him.
catch flack. Yeah, right. I might catch flack for saying it, but like every time I see Tony Pollard touching the football when I watch the Cowboys, he's always doing something positive. Yeah,
I agree with you. I'm right there behind you.
yeah, man. And
I
like I think it was a punt return or a kick return yesterday. You see that
one of
play?
them. Oh, I didn't see it.
Yeah.
No, I wasn't watching that game.
No, man. Like that kick return that he had yesterday, he broke like what 3-4 tackles and was just like he just kept going, man. I was like, I don't see this same sort of stuff out of Zeke that much
Yeah,
anymore, man. And like
yeah.
Tony Pollard, he's like plug and play. You can do whatever you
No,
want with him. You know,
no.
put him in on a punt return or kick return. Line him up in the backfield. Have him catch the ball out of the backfield. Anything you want him to do, he can do it. And he's
Yeah,
cheap. He's cheap labor, way cheaper than
yeah.
Zeke. So
A lot cheaper.
yeah, I know. Like in Dallas right now, they're probably like, I don't want to
Hey,
say
them
side
boys.
eyeing Zeke.
I'm just checking. Are you still them boys? Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh
I
God, it's
don't.
turning.
Yeah. Oh,
I
okay.
turned
I
on my
see the
strobe
lights.
lights. My bad. Yeah,
I see the
I hit
lights.
the, yeah, I didn't mean that. But yeah, I just don't know
I
if
see
they're
it.
them boys.
I don't know. I don't know either, man. But we'll continue to watch them. Another team that's been kind of interesting lately is the New England Patriots, man. The Patriots,
Ah,
they've been kind of good
see,
lately.
here's my problem, man. Like I admit
Yeah.
I was wrong with Stafford, and then he goes and does that last night. I'm like,
Hmm.
okay, like I was like Mac Jones is looking good. Then he goes
Yeah.
and twists Brian Burns' ankle, like he's put him in an ankle lock. You
Oh
saw that
yeah.
video?
Yep.
But I will. The Patriots are looking good. I think the Patriots Browns game is definitely one of the really good games next week. I mean, it's not like they have amazing records, but there are teams that could be fighting for a final playoff spot. So it's going to be a good game. I think the Patriots, Judon's just a different animal for them. Different.
Yeah.
Looking really good.
Judon playing
JC
really really
Jackson.
well. Absolutely. Another team that another surprising game yesterday. The Jags beat the Bills 9-6.
Josh
Just
Allen. Josh Allen. That.
Josh Allen, yeah.
So when
Let's
we're
talk
talking
about
about Josh Allen,
right.
when we say we mean the one from Jacksonville. We'll say Josh Allen from the Bills, if anything, like that's because that just like that was a fight for the name. Josh Allen just went crazy, like
Yeah,
sack, pick, fumble recovery, insane.
yeah.
Are the Bills
Josh
frauds?
Allen, I I don't want to say frauds. No, I think
Okay,
this is just one of those games. Like they probably didn't really get up for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Probably go out there, start off flat, get punched in the mouth early. You just never really come back for it. You just never get up for a team like the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're not going to be there in January. It was just I feel like it was one of those games. I feel like the Bills will be okay. They've been struggling a little bit as of recently.
yeah.
But I feel like they'll get it together. Just like the Chiefs. I feel like they'll get it together as well. I don't think they're frauds though. Don't think they're
Dare I
frauds. They're definitely
say?
for real.
Dare I say this Thursday game could be a trap game like it was for the Bills. I think the Dolphins can do the same things that the Jags did. Like,
Hey, I don't doubt that any team could,
yeah,
walk
in
into
the NFL.
Baltimore. We can, anything. Anything can happen because it's like the way that we've been struggling with, mediocre teams up to this point in the season, I don't doubt it. I don't doubt
Yeah,
it. But yeah. One other game I wanted to bring up, the Titans actually went out and showed the league that they are for real and they are here to stay with or
yeah.
without Derrick Henry. Going out there and knocking off the Los Angeles Rams 28-16. What were your thoughts on that?
I was surprised. I was very surprised.
Mm.
Ramsey had the early pick. I'm like, okay, like this might just be another game on one. The walk in the park for the Rams. Stafford's gonna do his thing, get the cup, the Woods, Higbee, Jefferson. defense is going to do their thing. But even without Henry, I mean, it wasn't more of the offense of the Titans. It was more of the defense. I
Yeah.
mean, just getting that pick. I don't know what Stafford was doing for that first pick. Then the pick six. I mean, right there, that's 14 gimme points from the
Yep.
defense. The
That'll hurt you.
offense, it was just don't mess up. That's all it was. I mean, having Julio and AJ Brown doesn't hurt. So
Yeah.
I was more impressed with the Titans defense than anything. That was a huge statement win, just a statement
Yeah.
game for Mike Vrabel's defense.
Right. On prime time too. Like
Yeah.
that's definitely, like you said, statement game. Like prime time, you're coming out there against arguably one of the best teams in the league. And you go
Yeah.
out there without your star player, Derrick Henry, you go out there and you just shock the world. Like that
Yep.
was impressive. That was impressive. And hats go off to the Titans. As much as we hate the Titans here
Yeah.
as Ravens fans, like you got to give it to them for that one, man, because it was a good performance for sure.
Now, can I ask you a question about these Saints? These ain'ts, these
Yeah.
Saints. You because I have a weird feeling about this quarterback situation. So obviously, Jameis Winston goes down. Try to trade for Teddy Bridgewater, their old starter at the trade deadline. Didn't work. Taysom Hill he's healthy after that concussion, that terrible call, terrible hit, and you still start Trevor Siemian. Okay, they're putting in Taysom Hill in certain situations, and then it was just going back. It was like a quarterback by rotation. It was weird.
Right.
It was weird. Quarterback by committee, you could say.
Yeah.
Am I wrong to say I think Taysom Hill should be the quarterback? Like I just don't. Simeon beat the Bucks, cool, but I don't know.
I don't know. I feel like Taysom Hill, he's he's definitely more of a playmaker.
Yeah.
And when you have a guy like that, I think he gives you a better chance at like just like in the long run. If you can somehow like squeak your way into the playoffs and you have a guy who can make some plays down the stretch, like we saw in like a playoff game a couple years ago, Taysom Hill actually impacted the game in a big way.
Big time.
So like if he can manage to do that again, Trevor, guys like Trevor Siemian, he's serviceable quarterbacks that are going to get you through, a part of the season where, your starting quarterback is hurt, whatever. But when it comes down to it, like in the playoffs, he's not going to be the one to be bringing you home playoff games like it's nothing. Like he's just not. So, I mean, I agree with you. With that being said, I think Taysom Hill definitely should be the starter going forward. If they're going to, have this guy on their roster who can do so many things, why not utilize him in the time where you need somebody who can do a lot of things? Like you don't have Michael Thomas, you know what I mean?
No.
You don't have, of course, Jameis Winston anymore. And right now you're just dealing with Alvin Kamara and who's their best receiver right now?
Traquan Smith.
Smith, what's his name? Callaway. I mean, what do we?
They have like the Tommy Lee guy. I think that's his name.
Right.
Tommy Lee. I think. I mean, if anything, you put him at any other position in the red zone. I mean, you could put in Simeon or Book, that rookie quarterback. But like, you put Taysom Hill with like tight end, running back, receiver in the red zone. You don't know what they're gonna do. If anything, you put him at quarterback to get down the field and then have them confused in the red zone when the field is short. I just didn't know what to make, and then the fact that they lost the Falcons, who blew a huge lead. I mean, what's new? Falcons, Atlanta blowing leads. But I just thought that was weird. You have a statement win over the Bucks and then lose to the Falcons. That's maybe the Saints this year.
Right, and we get that, Ray Rico says here that Taysom Hill is a Swiss Army knife. And yeah, I mean, to that point, man, like when you have a guy like, Taysom Hill, who is a Swiss Army knife on your team, like when you're Sean Payton, you got to get creative, man. You got to get creative. You got to do things, put him in, the right positions to, get success for your team. Like, because just don't be lazy is what I'm saying. Don't be lazy. Like your season's not over. You're 5-3 at this point. Your season is far from over. If you can muster up some wins, you can find yourself in the playoffs, in the wild card, and whatever happens from there happens. It's kind of a crapshoot in the playoffs.
They were a wild card last year.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's kind of a crapshoot. If you make it in the dance, there's definitely a chance that you can go home with the trophy. So it's like, don't give up on the season. Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy to think like the Washington football team, who were at 7-9 last year, gave the Buccaneers the best run for their money in the whole playoffs. They gave them the best run. I mean, that's just the playoffs. Like you said, just get into it and maybe you'll see.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. But that is around the league for this week. I see some of you guys putting in score predictions for the Ravens and Dolphins game. I mean, I see Lisa says 45-10 Ravens over Dolphins. Boy says Ravens 33-10 over the Dolphins. Score predictions. I don't think we're going to get into that on this episode here. We'll probably get into that a little bit later in the week. If we don't do an episode on Thursday, then we'll probably put out a video with
Yeah, we can do
different
that. I'm cool
information
with
about the
that.
game. We'll put out a video or something like that because when Ravens play on primetime football, we got to make sure we're front and center watching for sure. But yeah, that is going to do it for our Around the League segment. And to kind of wrap things up here before we get to Monday Night Football. And I know we were talking about this the other day, the last couple of days, Alex, about the whole Astroworld situation. I know we wanted to bring that up. I wanted to get your thoughts, my guy, because as you guys know, my guy Simply S10 is a huge Travis Scott fan. And
Yeah,
obviously you guys heard the news about the Astro World Festival where, there's people who lost their life and, just it was a very tragic event. And I wanted to get Simply as 10's thoughts and what he thinks about the overall situation. So what were your thoughts on that,
yeah.
man?
So I was watching it live on Apple Music. I wanted to go. Like, it's my dream to go to one of them. Not anymore. I mean, I've been to festivals before, but this one, it was just overcrowded, bro. 50,000 people, and then I I don't want to associate myself with like being a huge fan anymore because I'm not a huge like religious person like that. But bro, there was something off about that. I don't know what it was.
Mm,
Every time I watch those videos, I get a very very weird vibe that like that wasn't no concert. I mean, I don't know if you
mm,
feel the same way.
mm,
Just seeing dead bodies, like just being just people giving chest compressions, bro. Like that's not what's supposed to happen. And I just hope that they're held to responsible because this is no like this 8 people died and I think it was more. I think there's more than 8 deaths. There's no way. I mean, I was on TikTok and I saw people saying like this all they saw was bodies laying on the ground. There's no way all these people saw the same bodies.
mm,
So I think I told you I think Travis Scott needs to be held accountable. I think people who set it up need to be held accountable. It should have never been going on in the first place. There was a video of people just running in. Somebody could have brought a gun in there and it could have been a lot worse.
right.
No, there was nobody got one through metal detectors. And then there was a report about people stabbing people with syringes. That's what happens. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I mean, if he goes on tour, I want to go, but I won't be in general admission. I'll be in the seats like I was 3 years ago, exactly today. I saw him 3 years ago today, and I'm just not the same fan as I was before. You can give your thoughts, but it's just I've lost a lot of respect for him, and it feels really weird just watching the video and even listening to his music anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like you said, Travis definitely needs to be held accountable for this happening, and it's really sad first and foremost, especially like as somebody, because I'm sure the people who passed away who lost their life, they didn't go to that concert with the intentions of not coming home that night. You know,
It. I was
um,
watching a report. The one guy who died, like he was saving up money to go for this.
yeah,
That's all he was
yeah,
talking
like
about.
they want to enjoy themselves and have a good time and listen to music because that's what concerts are about. That's what they're all about. But it's really just this what do they call like mosh culture, people who
Rage.
just rage culture, who just want to go too hard for no reason and not really thinking about the consequences that come with it. But this is like a firsthand example of those consequences. Like I've
Yeah.
been to my fair share of concerts, not a whole bunch, but I've been to concerts where like the music is like really hype and people are like moshing and like raging and things like that. But yeah, and I know the feeling of like crowd sway, right? So like
Yeah.
when you're in a crowd and it's like kind of going back and forth, people are pushing each other and it's not really too
Yeah.
much you can do. But when you see that happening, it's easiest to see from the stage, right?
Yeah.
So like Travis Scott, he should have been the first one to say like, hey, this is like my whole thing. Like I'm running this whole thing. Like I have a lot riding on this. There's not just, you know, my popularity at stake. I mean, like this whole event is insured by these companies and there's a lot of money that, a lot of different people put into this. So I got to make sure that the well-being of this event and the integrity of this event stays like upright. And he didn't do that at all.
Yeah.
That was my problem with it. He just kind of let it happen. There were multiple videos that came out with him, kind of disregarding it, and some of the employees, like the staff that were working the event as
Bro,
well,
that
disregarding. It was just sick.
I put a tweet out. That video of the girl screaming at the cameraman, like I felt like a dream, like I said, when you're trying to get somebody to help you and just nobody is like helping you. Like she's
Yeah,
screaming at the person. Somebody who's worked these events says that they have one earpiece and they can talk to everybody. They can tell them to shut it down. Like they see
yeah,
what's going on. and nothing was done. And just he saw that there was an ambulance in the middle of it, and nothing happened. Nothing. Didn't stop it. No, nothing. Didn't say what's going on. And then just the way how packed it, people were saying stop the show and help, and I know we could have heard them. And I just don't want to imagine what it was like when you're in there. And then when he brings out Drake, who is arguably one of the biggest well-known artists in the world, just how even it's like it would never stop. Because it's like,
Right.
okay, I'm already struggling, bro. Now he just brought out Drake. Oh my God, it's going to get even worse.
Yeah. Yeah, man. So Lisa says the police are doing an investigation on this incident. The fire department is even looking into it. And yeah, Travis Scott is at fault for sure. But I think more so there's a bigger issue as well. I think, the people who are kind of buying into or like feeding into this culture, they need to be held accountable too. People who
The
are
person
going
who was on top of that ambulance or whatever, the medical,
right.
like that was
It's insane. It's insane. Like it's insanely stupid. That's what it is. It's like, bro, you go to this concert I'm like, you paid all this money to go to this concert. You want to enjoy the
$300 to
music.
$400 a ticket.
Right. You want to enjoy the music, see who you came to see, hang out with who you came with, and that's it. That's what it's all about. I mean, you don't have to go above and beyond to try to like get people to pull out their phone and record you. That's just not like people are doing things for the wrong reasons nowadays,
That's social media.
Yeah, social media, like just trying to go viral, trying to be popular, trying to get clicks, that sort of thing. At some point it's got to stop. It's got to stop. And like people really got to look themselves in the mirror and say, hey, is this who I really want to be? Do I really want to be that guy who excuse me, goes out to a concert and incites a riot or incites just uh a bunch of bad shit happening? Like, do you want to be that person? You know what I mean? Because now their blood is on your hands. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, because you were part of the person or part of the people who started the whole thing. So all in all, like we say, prayers, thoughts go out to the victims, the families of the victims, just everybody involved in the situation, man.
And
It's
just
just
those
super
who are
unfortunate.
injured. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't want to imagine the PTSD they have.
Right.
Like I said, every video I see, I get a very bad feeling. I just don't know what it is. Like, because like they're saying you couldn't even breathe in, and when they were breathing, it was hot air. Like I was thinking about it. I was in the shower. I'm like, okay, imagine 4 people in this shower with me, hot water going, and just try to and jump up and down. Like, there's no way that you would survive that, especially people with issues, respiratory problems. Like, I think about it too. Like, bro, there's still diseases going around.
Literally.
I'm not trying to be that person, but bro, like, there's still something going on. So I didn't make it help either. And it was sad all around. And the fact that also the medical team wasn't well prepared, wasn't trained appropriately. I saw a story how 2 people they saw, 2 medicals, they're trying to do chest compressions, and one of them didn't know what they were doing. The other one was screaming, crying. And then people who actually were there that had medical training, they had to help out. One person saved 3 lives because she knew what to do, and she wasn't even supposed to. She was not even on the clock, and she still saved lives. So
yeah, man, it's just, I mean, it's really embarrassing on a lot of fronts for sure, but just overall, just a super unfortunate situation. And like we said, our thoughts and prayers do go out to all the victims and families of the victims as well. And we hope that those who are responsible for this, i.e. Travis Scott, i.e. the guys who were the people who were, kind of instigating that whole thing, Live Nation, whoever else, we're hoping that they are held accountable. That's our hope.
Yep.
But yeah, we are going to go ahead and leave that there. And we're going to go ahead and leave this episode of the Appropriate Podcast. That's episode 83 of the Appropriate Podcast. Thank you guys so much for coming through and joining the live chat tonight. If you're not part of this live chat and you're part of the hashtag replay gang, thank you so much as well for coming out and watching this episode or listening to this episode. Like we said in the beginning of the show, you can follow us on Instagram at the Purple Rain Podcast. You can follow me, Sutton Def, on Twitter or Instagram at Sutton Def. And you can follow my guy Simply AS10 on Twitter, just at Simply AS10. And on Instagram at simplyas10.prod. And make sure you subscribe to his YouTube channel as well, just Simply AS10. But with that being said, I'm going to let my guy Alex take us out for the episode.
Thank you for coming through to episode 83 of the Purple Rain Podcast. Just be nice to each other. not too hard because you never know what can happen. I'll be honest. But as always, stay positive, test negative,
and never, ever, ever forget to call God. This has been episode 83 of the Purple Rain Podcast. We're going to